We're now going to recreate the Craps Casino game with classes. So we originally created this game in the looping chapter, so you can go back over there and relook at the code. So here we're going to do the same thing but using classes, and hopefully you'll see how much more streamlined it is and how much more effective it is. So if you've forgotten the rules, Craps is a casino game involving dice. There are 2 stages to the game. You make some bet at the start, and there are 2 stages to the game. If you roll a 7 or 11, you immediately win. You don't go to stage 2. If you roll a 2, 3, or 12, you immediately lose and do not go to stage 2. If you roll anything else, that's 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, you move to stage 2. So in stage 2, if you roll a 7, you lose. If you roll your original roll from stage 1, so one of these numbers, then you win. Otherwise, you just keep rolling. None of the other rolls matter. So only 7 and your original roll matter. So those are the rules. Let's go see what happens in this class, which I've already written out. So there is a single public method called the play method, which plays 1 round of craps. As you can see over here, let's just go scroll through the code real quick. So here's the play method. And before that, we initialize it. So we're going to see that in a little bit. The bankroll is what you're going to start. This is your starting value. So you can start with like $1,000. You get to set this, and we're going to assign that to the bankroll attribute. And then in here, we're just going to create some dice. So this is cool. We get to use the last class that we created, the dice class. So these go together. This is object composition. So we'll have a dice attribute that will refer to a dice instance. So it'll be a 6-sided dice, and there'll be 2 of them, and we're going to set 2 verbose, so it will print out the information. So after we instantiate, we have this play method. This will trigger everything. So this is the only public method. We're going to call the play method with the bet. So with the bet for that round. So you can change your bet every round. It's not going to be constant. You can bet $10 one round, $100 the next, and so forth. So it's going to just assign that to the bet attribute. It will then call the welcome method and then the stage 1 method. Notice these are all private, so they all begin with a leading underscore. Okay, so the first thing it does is calls welcome, so it's going to run all of this code right here. If the rolls, this is a list that has all of the rolls, so if there are no rolls yet, it's going to print out this welcome message. So it's going to welcome you to the game. Otherwise, it's always going to do this. It's going to tell you how much money you have. And throughout here, notice that I have the time module imported. This is from the standard library. We will use a sleep. This means we'll pause execution for 1 second. This is just to make it easier to read as we play the game, or else the information will just be printed very quickly and you won't be able to follow along. So after it welcomes you over here, it will begin the round. So it'll begin at stage 1. And it will roll the dice. So this rolls it 1 time if you pass it with no parameters. That's what that roll method did. And then it will get the original roll, which is stored. It will get the sum, which is stored in that sums list. So you have to recall what happened with the dice class. So this is just getting that original roll. So if it is in this set 2, 3, or 12, we lose, and so we just go directly over here. If it's in 7 or 11, we win, so we call the win method. Otherwise, we move on to stage 2. So let's take a real quick look at the lose and win methods. So over here, we're just going to decrease our bankroll. We just lost, and we're going to print out a message, and we just say what our bankroll is now. Otherwise, if we win, we will increase our bankroll and print out our current bankroll like that. Now, if we move on to stage 2, we go over here. So we're going to just print out a message saying we're at stage 2. We need to roll this to win. So that tells us what we need to roll. And then it'll use this while loop. So it'll continuously execute this until there is a break. So it has to reach one of these 2 points. So it's going to roll the dice again. It's going to get the new roll. So it's still this is saying get the last item in this list. So the last item is the newest roll. So that's important. That's why we can use that over here and over here. That's where the last roll is stored. So if the new roll is 7, then we lose and we break out of here. So we're done with this. We call the lose method first, and then we break out of there. If the new roll is the original roll, then we win and we break out. Okay, so that's how this works. So let's go ahead and run this. Now I do have this random.seed. So what this does, just as a quick explanation, is that it sets the random generation such that it is seeded. So this is not true random numbers. You can, they actually sort of can be known ahead of time by setting the seed. They'll still look random, but it will make it so that every computer has those same random numbers. So my random numbers will be the same as yours, will be the same as everyone else. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. We're going to instantiate a craps instance. So right now, all that has happened is this code has been run. We have set the bankroll and we now have our dice. That's all that we have to do. We can get the bankroll like this. So it's 1,000, but really other than that and having the dice, then nothing has been done. We just call the play method. That's the only method we do is call the play method. And this will play the game if we give it a right number. So we actually get to give it a bet over here, right? We have to give it the bet. I did not do that. So we'd say we bet $200. And every second, so it's bet here stage 1, we rolled an 8. That means we'll go to stage 2. We continue to roll over here. And luckily we rolled an 8 again during stage 2 and we won that. Okay, let's play one more time. And maybe since we feel like we're on a win streak, we'll bet 500. So we actually lost immediately during stage 1. We rolled a 3. That is a losing bet. And maybe one more time. Let's go up, make up our losses. 600. So we have $700 now. We're betting 600. We rolled a 4, so we have to roll a 4 to win. We're on to stage 2. And we rolled a 7, which loses, so we're now at $100. Now, of course, this game doesn't take into consideration lots of bad input, so there will be some errors here, but that's not the point. The point is that you can write a class that will play the game, the entire game, and break up everything into just small, like bite-sized methods. Again, the single responsibility principle at work over here. Okay, so that is the craps class.